Over the years, there have been several clamors from stakeholders in the aviation sector and other well-meaning Nigerians on the need for the federal government to adequately equip and upgrade the nation's airports with modern landing equipment from the current Category 1 and 2 in use in Nigeria to the Category 3 Instrument Landing System, or ILS. These agitations were predicated on the high number of delayed and cancelled flights during the Harmattan season and inclement weather conditions which make landing and takeoff of aircraft very difficult or near impossible. On account of poor visibility, some foreign airlines have been diverting their international flights to Accra, Ghana, N'Djamena, Chad, and some other neighboring countries with the attendant negative consequences. The House of Representatives on Tuesday directed its Committee on Aviation to investigate non-installation of the instrument landing system and other supporting equipment in airports across the country. The decision followed a motion moved by Representative Wale Raji during plenary. Agencies to be investigated by the House are the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN, and the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, NAMA. The motion was tagged urgent need to complete the installation and upgrade of landing equipment at the nation's airports to enhance safety of the airspace. Recent reports in the media indicate that the Category 3 ILS instrument is not functioning at its optimal capacity because of non-availability of other supportive equipment like the runway and approach lights yet to be installed and upgraded by FAN. Observers have noted a lack of cooperation among aviation regulatory agencies on account of petty differences which have negatively impacted the efficient management of the airports. Another pertinent issue is the sometimes nonchalant attitude of some airlines who hardly apologize or take proactive steps to make passengers comfortable in unforeseen circumstances. The question is, where is the place of the passengers' rights? Are airlines operating in Nigeria upholding passenger rights? These issues will form our focus on Nigeria Today. I am Dennis Adigunloye. Welcome to the program. All right, in the studio to discuss airlines and the rights of passengers is Joshua Isaac of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport Regional Head and Consumer Protection in Abuja here. Welcome to Nigeria Today.
Thank you very much.
And also joining us is one of our regulars, Jide Ojo, a public affairs analyst. Thanks again, Jide, for being with us.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me. Good evening, Nigerians.
All right, and also we will be linking up with an aviation expert in person of Godi Ike. We'll be linking up with him via Skype. If you can hear me, Mr. Godi, welcome to Nigeria Today.
Thank you, then, my dear viewers out there. Welcome to the program.
Sure. All right, so let me come to Mr. Joshua Isaac first. Let's just begin with you, Mr. Joshua. What exactly are the rights of passengers? We know that they will pay a fee, a sum of money for a airline ticket. Obviously, with this, surely will come some rights. What are these rights?
Well, good evening, MTA. I think it's a great one, and I'm happy to be here to actually enlighten my people, the public, concerning airlines, passengers' rights, and also airlines' obligations to the passengers. Passengers have the right to choose any airline they want to travel with. Number two is that passengers have the right to be given service for which they have paid for. Also, passengers have the right to be informed information of the situation of their flights in the event of delays, cancellations, overbooking, or even no show. Passengers have the right to be well informed. Also, passengers have the right for a conducive environment where they will stay before boarding, And even in flight, they have the right for a very conducive environment. Passengers have the right to be heard in the event of anything that borders around their rights being infringed upon. They have the right to be heard. Also, they have the right to take any legal action in the event of any breach that could not be resolved, and they felt it has to go that way. They have that right. And also passengers have the right to be protected by the airlines they have bought tickets to travel with in the areas of safety, regularity of flights, and conveniences. And so many other things are there.
All right, okay, let's cross over now to Anambra State, where Mr. Godi Ike, aviation expert, is linking up with us via Skype. Mr. Godi, I'm sure you heard all those rights that were enumerated by Mr. Joshua. Just give us your take on these rights, and do you feel the public are generally aware of these rights?
No. It's quite obvious that passengers are not really aware of their rights under the Bill of Rights as provided. Number two is that by attitude, most Nigerians are too much in a hurry to go after their rights even when they know. The belief is that even if it boils down to court action, that they would be wasting their time and resources pursuing something that will end them nothing at the end of the day. And so confidence in the legal system is part of the trouble. For those who know their rights, they don't want to pursue them. And so we have a situation where the airliners, knowing fully well that more often than not, passengers will not be pursuing their rights, take a lot of things for granted, and do things with impunity, things that they can do, especially foreign airlines, things that they can do to passengers outside Nigeria. They do them here, believing that they will get away, and they do get away with them. And so they are encouraged to go on. So, in answering your question more directly, some passengers know their rights, but won't pursue them. Others do not know and don't really know how to get about things when their rights are breached. And so that's what we have on our hands in Nigeria. The legal system has got to show that we have, we have laws. Our laws have teeth, can bite, willing to bite, and will always bite when they catch you doing the wrong thing. That signal is not yet out there until we have this problem on our hands.
All right, Mr. Godi, I'll come back to you. Coming back to the studio now, Mr. Jide, you heard some of the points raised there by Mr. Godi. Some know their rights, others don't know their rights. The ones that know their rights may not pursue them. Those who don't know their rights are going to be taken advantage of by the airlines. No doubt you have a take on these issues. Just let's hear from you.
Yeah, definitely, Nigeria Airlines or Nigeria airports management and airlines are rule-based. They are governed by certain rules, including international standard operating procedures, international conventions. NCA, for instance, is also guided by ICAO, International Civil Aviation Authority organization. So these are not necessarily peculiar situation or challenge with Nigeria. Nigerians have their own issues about rights and duties of passengers. There are those that are international in nature, there are those that are national in nature. So we need to get that context out there that, and in 2012, 2013 or thereabout, the NCA actually came out with a Bill of Rights for Nigerian airline passengers. But about 7 or 8 years down the line, not much sensitization has been given to these issues of rights. And like our colleague from Anambra said, even those of us who knows, we do not have the patience to go the whole hog, to press for redress, because our legal system is actually very, very tardy. You may, okay, you bought a ticket for maybe 25, 30,000 naira. Your right was breached. Maybe the flight was cancelled without prior information, or you suffer some inconveniences, and then you have to go to court. In going to court, you hire a lawyer. Your case may not even be listed for hearing 6 months after you've filed your suit.
Yep.
Then it takes eternity for the court procedures to get through with. Even when the court of first instance rule, if it's agreed that you should be compensated, the airline can go on appeal up to Supreme Court, and
you'll end up paying more than the 25.
So end up paying. So you will just
Yeah.
look at the cost benefit. Okay, if this time litigation, even if you're a lawyer yourself, look at the time, the distractions to your core, means of livelihood. So these are the reasons why people don't necessarily. But I think our aviation authorities are the ones that should actually serve as a buffer, so that they don't just expose. Okay, you can go to court if you are dissatisfied. There should be a buffer of immediate resolution of some of those issues that even when, because these people have their offices at the airport, and they do witness some of these breaches. And even if where the passengers have not come out to openly complain, they ought to have taken preemptive action to say, you can't get away with this. You sign on to this Bill of Rights, and these people need to be compensated. I as a flyer around this country, I've experienced quite a number of breaches, but then what do? You lament your loss, and you just shrug it off and move on.
Sure. All right. Concerning these Bill of Rights, Mr. Joshua, the NTAA, this came about in 2012. How has this Bill of Rights been garnished, been improved upon, so as that immediate redress can be achieved on the part of passengers who feel disgruntled or whatever the case may be?
I would advise, before I say anything, that passengers should always come to the consumer protection decks. We are in every airport. Please, they should try and come before they can even go to court, so that we will show them what to do. It may not take them 2-3 weeks, they will get their problem solved. Concerning the Bill of Rights, we have a mandate by the Civil Aviation Act 2006, Section 30, subsection 4, that says that the Nigerian Civil Aviation should come up with a regulation for the protection of airline passengers. Okay? So based on that, we came up with the regulation 2012. The first volume came up 2012. Then later on, it was improved 2015. And up to today, it is the 2015 version that we're using. It has all provisions for protections, for compensation of all kinds of breaches, or all kinds of breakage in passengers' right. Where your right is infringed upon, you come to us.
This is before going to court?
Yeah, before going to court. Don't even go to court. Come to us first.
Right.
We will guide you on how even to seek your right.
Sure.
And then by the time the airlines know that you have come to us, you will see them running after you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. The topic, the program is Nigeria Today, and we're discussing passengers' rights concerning airlines and flight delays and that kind of thing. We'll take a break now and hear from people on the streets. They spoke earlier with our correspondents on the issue.
Nigeria today, we should be doing more when it comes to, improvement of our customer care services. Like the question you asked me now about how flight operators are supposed to improve on their services. I think aviation sector is one of the biggest sector now in the world. So we here in Nigeria, we need to develop, we need to key into that sector a lot because there's more to benefit. But the issue of, lack of service delivery, it's a major challenge in Nigeria, and I think the aviation sector, the NEMA and the FEM and FAN, all the government agencies need to do more in terms of, adequate service delivery.
Honestly, when we are talking about corruption in Nigeria, there are so many ways in which corruption needs to be tackled. When somebody paid for a flight and has a schedule, the operator, if you happen to delay that person, you should know that there is a compensation you need to pay for that person. Imagine if one is called to come and maybe collect his appointment letter or for a business of whatsoever, and he made that person to miss such a thing. He should be able to say, sorry. When you say compensation, we actually believe that compensation is not actually the amount of whatever it's supposed to be, but at least that it shows concern.
The issue of flight delay has been one that has been very persistent, especially in Nigeria. And those airlines come to Nigeria and treat Nigerians anyhow they like and get away with it. And it's very bad. I think it is high time that Nigerians begin to demand for their rights.
About the flight delay, we are encouraging the management of airspace and Nigerian Airport Authority to make sure that there's no delay in any flight. We are calling them delay defeat equity. Immediately when the passenger arrives at the airport, let him fly without wasting of time, because many people have many things to do.
All right, welcome back. The program is Nigeria Today, and we're taking a look at airlines and the rights of passengers. Let's cross over back to Anambra State now, where Mr. Gotti is still on standby with us. Mr. Gotti, you heard some of the comments from members of the public there on the rights of passengers and how they may be taken advantage of by airlines. Just give us your take on how airlines can be made to uphold and compensate passengers who have been, let's say, mistreated or hard done by the airlines because of delays or because of unforeseen circumstances.
The airlines won't get serious until our legal system, comes out bearing down on them and letting them understand that taking Nigerians, and especially Nigerian flyers and passengers for granted will not be tolerated. We need to set up a special, court system that doesn't need to necessarily be in our regular courts. They can be stationed right there at the airport, where when people, are hurt in one way or the other, and they need to demand their rights, somebody adjudicates immediately, makes a decision, within 1 or 2 hours, serve them on the airline. Listen, the airlines will never get serious until something drastic is done to show that those kind of irresponsible activities will not be tolerated. If you have one moment, I will share an experience I had in Texas, Houston, Texas, in the U.S., when we were supposed to fly one of the foreign airlines, out of Houston, all the way to Nigeria. And for some strange reasons, they were heavily overbooked. A few of us, were told very nicely that we couldn't fly on that day. What did they do immediately? They took us to the airport hotel right there in Houston, all bills paid, fed us, put us in very comfortable rooms. The transportation, picked up by the airline, and the very next day, brought us back to the airport. And guess what, Danish? I was given 900 euros as compensation, in spite of all the goodies of being in a comfortable hotel, taking care of my transportation, bringing me back to the airport the next day, and having me fly safely out of Houston all the way back to Abuja.
All right,
what am I trying to say to you? The reason the airlines will do this so nicely out there.
All right, Mr. Gotti, well, your line broke there, but we certainly got your point. Jide, when are we going to be seeing this kind of 5-star treatment on the part of airlines who, passengers have been hard done by?
We will start by saying that when our aviation authorities get serious, you see, they differ too much to these foreign airlines. That's the truth. Look at the scenario you painted. Okay, there was Amatan is in Abuja or in Lagos. You had to take people to Accra, Ghana, and just abandon them there. Or you take them to Chad in Jamena. That's not where they are supposed to be left. And in the event of you doing that, you owe it to an obligation to bring them in, even if it's the following day. But because our system, I mean, it has to do partly with inefficiency, it has to do with corruption, it has to do with, ignorance and so many other reasons. But the bottom line is that we need not necessarily to tinker with the law. We have sufficient laws. It's the
implementation.
The regulatory agencies need to get serious. Fight on behalf of the airline consumers, on behalf of the passengers. Because, like I said earlier on, if Mr. Joshua Isaac here, as I approach the airport, I get even if it's a brochure given to me at the point of sales of tickets to say, this is your bill of right on this flight. I will know immediately that in the event that these people mess up, even if you don't want to come and give people on board, you can, as they are seated there, you can approach them and say, these are your rights and privileges for using this facility. All
right, okay, just before we go, Mr. Joshua, just give us your final comments on this topic.
No, actually, Nigerians are always in a haste. In the airport now, we have screens, digital screens all over, stating your rights. But a Nigerian will pass that digital screen 10 times without reading it. It is indicating, like, okay, passengers taken to Accra. We don't have the right to stop airlines from carrying their passengers to Accra. They take directives from their headquarters, either Istanbul or wherever they are coming from. But if they seek for permission to drop them in Abuja, we'll allow them. The minister came out clearly and said that all airlines who have issues of landing passengers in Lagos that they could not bring them down, I will give you permission to bring them to Abuja, and they did. A lot of them did that. And not only that, the issue of information, it is stated that if your flight is delayed for 30 minutes, go to the airline and ask for a written statement of your right. They should give you, and they are supposed to give you. If they fail to give you, come to us.
Sure. All right, Joshua Isaac, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, so regional head there, and consumer protection. Thanks for your thoughts on this topic. I'm grateful for your being here with us.
Thank you.
And thanks also, as usual, to Jide Ojo, Public Affairs Analyst. Thanks for your insight on our topic today.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And our thanks also, if you can hear us, to Godi Ike, International Aviation Expert. Thanks also to him for your insight and thoughts on this topic. And thanks also to our viewer for keeping this date with us. Join us again tomorrow, and remember you can watch this and other episodes of Nigeria Today on our YouTube address, youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. I am Dennis Adigunloye. Thanks for watching and see you next time.